Hi, welcome to the legislative update for this week for Scenic. My name's Ardis Watkins. I'm here with Flint, Benson, David Collins, and Suzanne Beasley. We're your lobbying team, and we have had a really interesting and kind of dramatic week. It started as a great week for Scenic. And the first thing I want to do is thank our members. We asked you for help to support Scenic because there was a bill, House Bill 1134. It was up in pensions and retirement first thing Tuesday morning of this week. And that bill would have taken the right of all retirees to have payroll deduction for Scenic, for your insurance policies, for your ability to participate in the political process. It was a horrible bill. And we want to thank our members. You showed up, you packed the committee room, you packed the hallway, you got the job done. Representative Pat Hurley is another person we want to thank. She ran an amendment to give the retirees their right to payroll deduction back, and it passed unanimously in that Pensions and Retirement Committee. We want to thank Representative Elmore, who ran an amendment to keep the minimum retirement age from being set at 55 for future retirees. That was a big amendment, also passed with almost unanimous support. And we want to thank the chairs of the committee, Representative McNeil and Representative Ross, for hearing those amendments and allowing a vigorous debate in that committee. So the week did start well, and then the budget on the Senate side came out, and that's not so good.
The Senate budget was not good for state employees and retirees, and all week we've been trying to find someone that can understand that retirees are not a liability to the state of North Carolina.
Right.
There are people who need to pay their bills. There are people who are facing a rising cost of living, and nothing has been done for them of a significant matter in years.
So to recap, though, because we digress, we're in this all day, every day, and we kind of forget, people don't remember. The House budget had a pay raise and a bonus. So it was 2% and a $500 one-time bonus for active employees, but it also had a COLA for retirees in it.
That was 1.6%. When the Senate budget came out, it didn't have an across-the-board pay raise in any shape, form, or fashion for state employees. It had merit increase money put into the budget, and there was no COLA.
So that's what Flint's talking about, the fact that they shut retirees out altogether in the Senate budget, and now they're calling them a liability.
And they almost shut state employees out. They suggested merit-based pay, but you can't have performance-based pay or merit-based pay until you have an evaluation system that people have confidence in.
That's right.
And state employees don't have confidence in their evaluation systems.
No, what the Senate has proposed is just opening the door to cherry picking who gets what pay raise.
And with that being said, also the difference between the House budget and the Senate budget comes down in the DOT. We successfully got amendment through in the House proposed budget, which puts a memorandum on the restructuring efforts right now and encourages a PED report to come out by February 1st of 2017, showing if there's any cost savings to privatizing all this work.
Right, so I mean, that's a big deal too, because the House, as David just said, the House put a moratorium, said we're stopping this outsourcing, these contracts, until we know if it saves taxpayer money. That's important for the taxpayers. It's also important for the state employees who started losing their jobs as of this week on Tuesday, because how did the department respond to the House saying stop?
Oh, they just increased it. They put their foot down and said that they are following the law of last year. There's a new budget that's in place. The House has made their stance, and what we saw in the Senate budget was yet again putting their foot on the floor and trying to expedite this process even faster than what was already proposed originally.
So David's working his rear end off, as all of us are on the DOT issue, but we've got David on that most of the time right now. The pay raise issue, I think, is the one that most employees are the most upset about, and that's where we need you. Just like you came through for us in pensions and retirement this week, we got to have you, or else this isn't going to work out in conference.
And just a little recap of where we are with pay raise. The House put 2%, a $500 bonus in for active state employees, a 1.6% COLA for retirees. The Senate, merit-based pay increases and no COLA for retirees. Now they will go to conference and start hammering out the final budget. So it's even more important now that you make those phone calls and let your representatives and your senators know they need to come off it.
I think it should be noted that Senator Erica Smith Ingram, one of our endorsed candidates, she tried to get a 2% pay raise and $500
She
bonus
was a hero.
and a 1.6% COLA for retirees. But then Senator Warren Daniel substituted an amendment for his pet project.
Yeah, Senator Daniel from Burke County.
One of the more interesting things I've seen in a budget process go down.
It was clever procedurally. It was very clever. What Senator Daniel basically did was make a motion that gutted the amendment that gave a pay raise for state employees and inserted completely different language to fund a pet project in his
And Senator
district.
Smith Ingram went so far as to ask Senator Daniel on the floor, are you telling me that a pet project in your district is more important than 85,000 state employees having a raise? And he really didn't have a response.
No, but his motion passed, so I think that's a pretty big response.
That lets us know where we're at in the Senate.
That's right. So now this is where you come in. Because the Senate, if they hear from you, nothing's ever set in stone over here until it's truly the end of the budget. As Suzanne said, now after the Senate budget does get out of here on third reading, probably around midnight, they'll start the conference process. There's people walking around the General Assembly. You probably hear them in the background. But they'll start the conference process. And if you make enough phone calls to the House to keep their position and to the Senate to come to the House position, you will make the difference in this process. They're going to have to listen to their constituents.
Please let them know to support the House pay proposal for state employees and the COLA for retirees. That is of the utmost importance that the House prevail in this battle.
Absolutely, that's what we need you to do. We need you to support the House position on the pay raise and the retiree COLA. Call your House members, call your Senate members, call everybody you know, and let's get this done.
It makes a difference. Thanks, y'all.